Radamel Falcao to Chelsea. In 2011, when Chelsea signed Fernando Torres on the deadline day of the winter transfer window, many fans were critical of signing a forward whose form was waning. Why sign Torres when two younger strikers, a Colombian international, setting the Portuguese League on fire, as well as an Argentine international, Maradona's son-in-law, were also apparently on the market? Later that year, the Colombian, a certain Radamel Falcao, moved to Atletico Madrid for €40 million to replace the aforementioned Argentine, Sergio Aguero, who moved to newly flush with cash English side Manchester City. Both Falcao and Aguero turned up to be huge successes at their particular clubs, while Torres was still struggling to find his feet at his new club. Oh, how much we Chelsea fans yearned for a striker of their calibre at our club in place of the misfiring Spaniard. Fast forward a few years and Chelsea now enjoy the services of Diego Costa, who is a serial goal-getter. Sergio Aguero is still at City and is the PL's best striker. Radamel Falcao, meanwhile, has fallen from grace after his knee ligament injury and has scored as many league goals this season as Chris Smalling for Manchester United this season. But all the while, one thing hasn't changed. Falcao to Chelsea is apparently still a thing, and Falcao recently went public with his desire to play for Jose Mourinho's champions. Well, all that's fair, but you have to consider whether Falcao is good enough to warrant the wages that he will receive even after a pay cut. Assuming he takes a pay cut of £100,000 and settles for wages of £165,000 per week, he would still cost Chelsea close to £8.6 million in wages alone. Is that worth considering that he will play second or maybe even third fiddle with Costa and Remi already in place for next season? I would rather recall Patrick Bamford or promote Dom Solake. But then, if we assume that Chelsea would be willing to pay up for Falcao, should they? The simple, blunt answer is number. He just isn't his previous self, as his goals and attack score tallies have been on a steep decline since his exploits for Atletico. Chelsea have tried signing one expensive striker on the decline, so you'd think that surely they would have learned from how poorly that turned out. According to Di Marzio, Chelsea too have been showing some interest in the Colombian. Di Marzio is a trusted journalist and his sources aren't often off the mark. Here's what his website had on the developments of the transfer story. Well, if Michael Emilio feels that Radamel Falcao, not the one who tormented Chelsea's backline in the Super Cup match, but the one who is coming off a remarkably woeful season at Manchester United, would be a viable addition, who are we to argue? All I can say is I just don't like the sound of Falcao moving to Chelsea.